Hey, what are you doing? So, I'm going to formally introduce myself to everybody. Um, I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, and that's okay. Um, because if you hold somebody's past against them, then what does that say about you? You know what I mean? So, I go by Faith, Hope, and Love 86 on here. Britt. I am a recovering addict, thank God. Um, and no, for all you people thinking that addicts just wake up one day and are like, hey, I want to throw my life away today. That's not how it works. It's way more than that. As for me, this is my journey. This is my story to tell. I hope and pray that if anybody sees this video that is part of my past, I do not mean to hurt anybody's feelings. But I feel like that when we share our story, we never know who it could reach. And that in itself alone, if I can do this video and somebody see it and get just a little bitty bit of hope, then hey, I don't know what I was supposed to do. Okay, so I'm 38 years old. At 3 years old, my first memory of being on this earth was being abused in every shape, form, or fashion that you can think of. At 3 years old, I didn't know what was going on. That went on until the age of 10. I got to where I just mentally and physically couldn't take it anymore, because when I say abuse, I'm talking like every type of abuse you could think of. It was very, very traumatic, and I couldn't understand, with me being that young, what I had did to deserve all of that. I was 3 years old. I was 10 years old. It went on for 7 years, and I felt like I had been put on this earth to be abused and neglected and mistreated, and thank God that is not the case now, though I know that. Praise the Lord. Well, I got taken away from my parents at 10, but at 10 years old, that's when I started doing drugs, because my mind couldn't deal with it anymore. Of course, it started out drinking, pills, everything you could think of. I had already did everything by the age of 11, and that is very sad. That is very sad that a 10-year-old little girl thought that was the only way that she could deal with what she was dealing with, because everybody else around her was on drugs and doing their own things. So I kind of thought it was just normal at that point. Well, if something happens, this is what you're supposed to do. I guess you're supposed to, this is how everybody else is dealing with it, even though it was a living hell. I don't know how many nights I stood at the end of the trailer listening to my family member beat my other family member to the point to where I didn't know if they were going to be alive when I went in there or not. It was very, very, it was very hard. Well, I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. So at the age of 13, my family thought that it was okay for me to move in with a 25-year-old man. I didn't go to school. He had a little boy, and I still love that kid to this day. And that child's mother, I love her to death. But now that I look back, I'm like, what was wrong with that guy that he wanted to be with a 13-year-old? So from 13 to 18, I was being basically a stay-at-home wife and a mother on, every other weekend or whenever I was needed. And I wouldn't change that for anything, because that made me who I am today. But the whole time, I was still doing drugs because I knew something wasn't right. I knew that this is not how I'm supposed to be living. I know that there's got to be something more for me. Well, that relationship ended, and but while I was in that relationship, I got brutally great at pew to the head. It was very, very bad, and the one that I was with told me I deserved it. I was nothing but a rope hoe. It was just really bad. Everybody up to this, that happened the day before my 15th birthday, so up until that point, and even afterwards, everybody had always just used me, abused me, and I was doing the best I could to survive. Well, I moved back to my hometown, and I ended up getting pregnant with my oldest son. And boy, and I can sit here and say today that I was a really sick person. I really was. Because honestly, there's parts of his childhood I don't even remember, because I stayed so high all the time, because I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't feel it. I didn't want to feel it. I thought if I didn't have to feel it, that it would go away. Well, we all know that's not how that works. This is going to be a multi-series thing, so I don't know. If you want to hear it, let me know. If not, I'm going to stop right here, because it gets a little rough before it gets better, okay, guys? So if you're interested, please comment and let me know.